City Heating and Air has been proudly serving East Tennessee for over 60 years. We use only the best equipment like American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning for your residential, new construction, or commercial needs. City Heat and Air.
Air to bear.
All right, got a lot of new graphics to share with you here this evening, especially as we round out the week. A lot of folks going to be heading off on spring break, so give me some time. We're going to walk you through the details because we've got a significant storm on the way, and this storm system is going to impact millions across the country from the West Coast all the way to the East Coast. And our day arrives in just a couple of days on into our Saturday. Before we get there, though, I wanted to start you off with a radar recap, showing you the weak little wave that's been swinging its way on through. Parts of Cumberland County, Fentress County has seen some showers around the area. Seen a couple of spotty showers across northern Alabama and southern middle Tennessee and down to our south. But really not a ton of activity, although some of those showers in Monroe County have seen some decent amount of rain. So we were talking about that this morning. One of the models was indicating that most of them were not, but it looks like the HRRR won out here on this good old Thursday afternoon. So just embrace the rain, no severe weather threat. Just these are going to be slow movers as well. We don't have a lot of wind in the atmosphere so far, but that also is going to be changing here as we head through the next couple of days. All right, let's go ahead and talk about the forecast here ahead of us. So we'll start you off with your headlines. Evening showers, clearing skies, mild temperatures to get started on our good old Friday morning. It's got a nice little ring to it when we can say Friday, but again, Friday's going to be a good day to prepare for what's heading our way as we get into the upcoming weekend. Warm and windy Friday afternoon with elevated fire danger. We've got incredibly strong wind on the way. We still have some very dry air, although we are going to get a nice little return flow from the Gulf. That's going to bring us increase in humidity, and I think you're going to really feel that change in the atmosphere tomorrow with the wind and the higher humidity. But again, we'll keep you posted on that fire danger. Then strong storms move in on Saturday. All modes of severe weather are on the table and are all possible. All right, let's get you started with our forecast for Friday morning. We're going to start off in the 40s and 50s, so a quiet, comfortable start to the day as the kids head off to school, as you head off to work. We're going to see those winds start to increase a little bit throughout the day on Friday. Nothing too crazy. That really is going to be arriving as we head through the day on Saturday, but it is going to be rather gusty throughout our Friday afternoon. Winds out of the south. That's going to help to boost our temperatures in the low, mid, and some upper 70s across the area. We'll start to see increasing high-level clouds across the area. Then Friday night and all the way through Sunday, the National Weather Service has now upgraded the mountains of East Tennessee to a high wind warning from the high wind watch that we had. We're talking winds out of the south, 25 to 40, gusting to 80 miles per hour or greater across the higher elevations. By the way, the QR code for the East Tennessee Weather app is right there in the bottom right-hand side of your screen. It's a wealth of weather information, and no matter where you may be traveling to, especially if you're traveling on spring break, it's going to keep you up to date on severe weather potential or any watches and warnings and lightning and storms approaching from the National Weather Service, no matter where you are in the country. So we're going to walk you through the details. And as I mentioned from the beginning, I've got a lot more graphics and a lot more information to pass along to you. I was talking about it on my morning broadcast this morning. Say, listen, we had a couple of people asking, hey, I'm supposed to be traveling Friday and Saturday. I've been trying to field as many of your conversations on social media. I can only get to so many. But the point of the story is, if you don't have to travel, do not travel unless you're going to be traveling east. If you're traveling west or south, stay put, stay here in East Tennessee. All right, so warm, gusty, high fire danger, 76 degrees on Friday. We'll shave those temperatures down a little bit on Saturday and even more so on Sunday as our strong storm system sweeps in some cooler, slightly drier air. We've been talking about this since last Friday, by the way, over almost a week. And all models are indicating that a very strong low-pressure system is going to continue to form overnight tonight and through the day on Friday. So strong, you could equate that pressure level to a Category 1 or Category 2 hurricane. That's how strong this storm is. Very rare, very unusual, and that's why we've been hitting it hard since last Friday about all the information from NOAA, really. And now we're getting into specifics, right? It starts tomorrow. So the Storm Prediction Center has issued a level 1, 2, 3, and 4 risk for severe storms. That's Friday into Saturday. Big tornado outbreak expected across the Mississippi River Valley, West Tennessee, up into the parts of the upper Midwest. So let's break this down in a little bit more detail. Let's talk about the tornado risk. This is Friday, Saturday. So green is 2% probability, 5 is brown, and 10% probability is yellow. Huge swath of high probability for long-tracked, large tornadoes across the Mississippi River Valley. But I can break that down even more from the Storm Prediction Center and saying significant tornado risk in this area. Jackson, Mississippi, Tupelo, near Birmingham, Nashville, Memphis, Paducah, St. Louis seems to be some of the bullseyes for big-time tornado outbreak throughout the day on Friday. It doesn't stop there. Now let's talk about the hail outlook, because we do have some colder air aloft. So we're going to tap into that colder air and then form some very large hail. The bullseye seems to be Paducah, St. Louis, southern and southeastern Missouri. We've got a 30% probability there. We can break that down even further. And significant hail, we're talking about the possibility of baseball-sized hail or larger from Memphis, Little Rock, Paducah, St. Louis. Big-time storm system on the way. So please don't travel to our west on Friday if you don't have to. And as I mentioned, if you have to for some crazy reason, right there, download the East Tennessee Weather app. It travels anywhere in the country as long as you have GPS service, location services turned on, and push notifications turned on. You'll get all the information you need. You can track it anywhere in the country with the interactive radar, because if you get those push notifications, it takes you right to the radar. You push play. It gives you past, current, and future radar based on exactly what's going on at the moment. All right, now we continue to talk about the severe wind, because we got so much wind in the atmosphere. A strong low pressure system equivalent to a hurricane. So yeah, it's going to produce a lot of wind. So we've got upwards of 45% probability of severe winds from St. Louis, Paducah. I mean, we are going to see some major power outages, major damage across parts of the Great Plains and the upper Midwest, and significant wind from Tupelo, Memphis, Paducah, St. Louis, Springfield, Kansas City, into and near Chicago, Illinois. If you were with me on the morning broadcast, I was talking about the fact that we are going to have some major airline delays, airport delays, and I know a lot of folks are traveling for spring break. Now we get into our Saturday and Sunday. So that was just Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We've got a level 1, 2, 3, and 4 risk again. This is day number 3 from the Storm Prediction Center. This is unusual. So now let's go ahead and put this into perspective and say, let's go back to 2011. The big tornado outbreak, April 27th, 2011, it does appear that we are getting into a very similar situation. As I've mentioned before, please don't travel. Friday, Saturday, stay at home, stay put, be safe, and travel on Sunday. Yes, you're going to lose a day of vacation, but I'd rather lose a day of vacation than lose a life. All right, notice East Tennessee, Chattanooga, Nashville, and even East Tennessee. Most of East Tennessee is under a level 3. That's an enhanced risk. That is a very strong risk. We've got a lot of turning, a lot of spin, a lot of wind shear in the atmosphere, and so tornadoes are probable. And then as we get into our Sunday, Monday, that storm system is going to slide across the eastern seaboard. So Charleston, Savannah, Wilmington, Virginia Beach, Charlotte, Columbia, Augusta, all probable for seeing this storm system produce even more severe weather. I told you I have a lot to talk about tonight. All right, so let's pick up our Futurecast on Friday evening. We're not going to see a whole lot of activity, but let's go ahead and get into our Saturday. So Friday, we're going to see severe weather as well. But now we're talking about the storm system heading our way as we get into Saturday. So here we go. Saturday noon, here's the storm system starting to move its way on in. So from sunrise to noon, we may have some lingering showers as some storms kind of weaken as they move out of middle Tennessee. That would be our benefit if we can keep the clouds in place, if we can stabilize the atmosphere. The problem is we have so much energy in the atmosphere, I don't think that's going to be the case. So from noon to 3, storms start to fire up. And any of these single cell supercell thunderstorms that fire up out ahead of the cold front, these are ones to watch. So I think noon, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, and 7 o'clock at night, we need to watch very closely here in East Tennessee. After 7, here comes the line of strong thunderstorms moving on through that will likely produce damaging wind, could have some isolated tornadoes, and some large hail with that system as well. Cold front's going to sweep its way on through, and it's going to produce 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 inches of rainfall around the area. So flooding, flash flooding is going to become a concern. So the Weather Prediction Center has issued a flash flood risk, a level 1, level 2, pretty much for the entire region. A lot of moisture. I mean, we're like 200 to 300% of normal, of average when it comes to available moisture in the atmosphere to work with. Dew points are climbing. All the ingredients are on the table. And the wind, as I mentioned, the wind's going to be gusty through the day on Friday, Friday night into Saturday, Saturday into Sunday. Here comes that significant wind as the cold front approaches the area. That's noon on Saturday. Look at the winds cranking around the area. Then by 7 o'clock, but between 7 and midnight as the cold front comes through, that's when we're really going to get some strong, severe winds. And if we get those thunderstorms, they'll tap into those winds, they'll transfer it to the surface, and that's where we're going to see a lot of power outages, down trees around the area. So again, let me stress right there, scan that QR code, log on to easttnweather.com. I've got links to download the app for Android and iPhone, for your tablets. You can log on to easttnweather.com. I've got a link in the top right-hand side that says Watch Live. You can always watch live severe weather coverage because you better believe it, I'm going to be live on all East Tennessee weather platforms as we get into the weekend. All right, let's go ahead and finish your 7-day forecast. We'll cool down into the low 60s, more seasonable weather as we get into our Monday. And then next week, looks like those temperatures warm nicely. A beautiful spring break week ahead of us for folks who are enjoying the spring break week next week. I know Knox County and several other school districts are in spring break, and it looks like it's going to be much, much quieter. But I cannot stress enough. Please stay on top of the latest weather forecast every single day from now through Saturday. Download the East Tennessee Weather app right there. Scan that QR code. I cannot stress it enough. It is one of the only apps that's going to give you watches and warnings, lightning data, storms approaching, and live severe weather coverage right there, front and center on top of the East Tennessee Weather app. I will keep you posted. Check back in. Wake Up with the Witcher starts off at 6 o'clock in the morning on Friday. We'll also be live at 7 o'clock in the morning on Saturday, and likely live off and on throughout the day on Saturday. And of course, you can capture all those live weather updates, social media, Roku TV, Amazon Fire, YouTube, and of course, the East Tennessee Weather app. Have a great night.